This video will walk you through the basic navigation in EweManage. When you first open the software, you will see a notification screen that highlights some animals that may need attention. These animals are not meeting your goals that you have set up in your farm profile or may need a vaccine or a tag declaration if you are declaring to a national traceability system. Click on the X in the top right corner to continue and exit this screen. When we access EweManage, we are presented with the files of active animals in your breeding flock. The first thing we see is the main menu and also the record of a single animal. In this software, it is important to understand that there are 3 main databases, but 2 that relate directly to your flock. The first is called the flock, which consists of your breeding animals. This includes your breeding ewes and your breeding rams. The second database is called the lambs, which obviously consists of lambs not yet breeding age and are market lambs. The reason these animals are separated into separate databases or flocks is because of the different types of data you will want to record and track in their files. The third database contains information to record medical treatments and is your pharmacy. It can be located by clicking on the Medical tab and then click the Pharmacy button at the bottom of the screen. On the top left, you have the section of information that describes the animal and its unique identification. Just below that you have activity buttons here. These buttons allow you to manually record breeding, ultrasounding, and lambing data. Here you have a window that describes the history or activities that have been done on the animal you are currently viewing, as well as access to its medical records. The next tab is used to record purchasing info on purchased animals in the flock. Here is the Disposal tab where you will manually assign the different ways an animal will exit the flock. And then here, CLRC registration information on purebred animals if you would like to register progeny. This lambing statistics table does a great job of presenting the lambing history of the current ewe on screen. Moving up to the top center of your screen, you also have on each record a panel with buttons that allows you to choose the records you want to consult. So in this case, there is 96 records selected for viewing. This panel will tell you the average age in the selection as well as the average weight. You can scroll through the different records using these arrows, or we can choose to view all your rams, all your active ewes or records by breed or by group by clicking the appropriate buttons. Completely on the right, here is the section that shows you the lambs that were raised by the ewe on the screen with some basic information. These red and green buttons allow you to select the current lambs in the barn raised by this ewe or all lambs raised by her in her lifetime. It is important to know that if this ewe gave birth to lambs but did not raise them, they are not listed on this list. To view a complete list of lambs that this ewe has given birth to, including lambs she did not raise, put your mouse over the number born column in the lambing statistics table. Your mouse will turn to a hand. Then click here to view your list. Back up at the top of the screen, we have a button here that allows you to view your selected animals in a list. On this page and at the top of each column is the title of the information, and if you hover over each column title your mouse may turn to a hand. If this happens, you can rearrange the information in that column by descending order or alphabetical order. You may click on these columns to arrange your information to sort through your animals. Important thing to note, there is always a small cursor here on the left in black in the margin. If we go to click in the row on an animal's ID number, we see that the cursor moves and selects that animal, and when we return to the records it is always that record that is displayed on screen. But be careful when clicking on the rows as some information can be changed here on this screen. It is important to click on the animal's ID if you want to consult that record. Another important item to note is the Reset button. This button here is present in almost all screens. If you're ever caught up in a process that doesn't let you out before closing the software and reopening, click on the Reset button and it closes the current process and takes you back to square one. If there is information you would like to change on a single animal in the main screen, you can change the information in the drop-down list by typing in the information. So, for example, the breed or the group name. Again, your mouse may turn to a hand when hovering over the breed field. If you click, when the hand appears it will bring you to a list of national standard 2-letter breed abbreviations used in EweManage. Please keep in mind when naming groups that they can be no longer than 12 characters long and do not use special characters such as /. A space is considered a character. I encourage you to go around the menus and see what's inside to see what all EweManage can do. The other way to navigate is with the buttons in the top menu. These buttons easily take you to other activities, for example, over to the lambs database. I will now go to the lamb database. It's kind of the same presentation as in the flock. In the lambs here, you always have the description of who they are out of, as well as performance or weighing information. In the lamb database, you can record standard industry weighings such as 50-day weights, 100-day weights and control weights to track average daily gains. Unique to EweManage, we have a section here to track your weights and gains for lambs that have been fed milk replacer. And you have at the bottom a bit of the same kind of medical information as for the breeding flock. Here you have a window that describes the history or activities that have been done on the lamb record you are currently viewing, as well as access to its medical records. Medical treatments and vaccinations with withdrawal dates can be recorded here. The next tab is used to record lambing notes. Over towards the center of the screen you have your tag status. Then, on the far right you will see here, this is where the control weights are recorded. These weights are all weights that are not your standard 50-day and 100-day weights. So now, I will return to the flock by the Return to Flock button. We are now back to the flock or main screen here, and this completes the quick overview of ways to navigate through EweManage.